black is not a problem for a black person. Being black is a problem for the community that doesn't understand that you are a human being.
In life, no one is immune to the weakness of the human body. Even the brightest stars, who once lit up our screens with laughter and unforgettable performances, faced battles their fame could not shield them from. In recent years, several black actors have been lost to devastating illnesses. So, who are these actors? And what tragic disease have we lost them to? Join us as we reveal 20 black actors whose lives ended far too soon. Chadwick Boseman wasn't just another actor in Hollywood. He was a phenomenon. He will always be remembered as King T'Challa, the Black Panther, the fearless ruler of Wakanda in Marvel's record-shattering franchise. Black Panther didn't just earn over $1.3 billion. It became a cultural milestone, celebrating African pride and earning the first Best Picture nomination for a superhero film. Before Wakanda, Boseman brought legends to life. Jackie Robinson in 42, James Brown in Get On Up, Thurgood Marshall in Marshall. On August 28, 2020, at 43, he died of colon cancer. Chadwick Boseman died at his home in Los Angeles, with his wife and family by his side. What shocked the world most was the revelation that he had been diagnosed with colon cancer 4 years earlier, a battle he chose to keep private. Even as he endured countless surgeries and chemotherapy, he never stopped working. His family described him as a true fighter who, in between treatments, gave the world unforgettable performances in films like Da 5 Bloods and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Boseman's death reminded the world that even the strongest heroes can be taken too soon. And he wasn't the only giant we lost. A decade earlier, Hollywood mourned another figure who seemed larger than life, literally. Michael Clarke Duncan. Michael Clarke Duncan, the towering actor with a gentle soul, became a household name after his Oscar-nominated performance as John Coffey in The Green Mile. His presence was undeniable, and through the early 2000s, his face lit up films, from Daredevil to Talladega Nights, while also making memorable TV appearances on shows like The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and Bones. But tragedy struck when Duncan suffered a heart attack on July 13, 2012. After weeks in the hospital, he passed away on September 3, 2012. From complications of that attack, he was only 54, leaving fans mourning a talent gone too soon. Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac wasn't just a comedian, he was an undeniable force. His humor and honesty made him a standout in the original Kings of Comedy, and soon after, he became widely known for his character in The Bernie Mac Show. The series was instantly a hit, and it earned him Emmy and Golden Globe nods. On the big screen, he shone in Ocean's 11, Bad Santa, and Transformers, bringing depth to every role. But behind the laughter, Bernie faced a lifelong battle with sarcoidosis, a chronic lung disease, and on August 9, 2008, at just 50 years old, he died from pneumonia complications worsened by the illness. Bernie Mac's passing was a reminder that even the loudest laughter can be silenced too soon. And just a few years earlier, the world had already lost another legend. Gregory Hines. Gregory Hines wasn't just a dancer, he was rhythm personified. Widely hailed as the greatest tap dancer of his generation, he made audiences fall in love with the way he carried himself. Hollywood couldn't resist him either. With unforgettable turns in The Cotton Club, White Nights alongside Mikhail Baryshnikov, and the buddy hit Running Scared with Billy Crystal. By 1992, his genius had earned him a Tony for Jelly's Last Jam. Television welcomed him too, from his own sitcom The Gregory Hines Show to stealing scenes on Will and Grace. But behind the sparkle, tragedy struck on August 9, 2003. Hines died of cancer, gone far too soon at 57. Clarence Williams III. Clarence Williams III was the definition of cool on screen. He shot to fame as the undercover cop Link Hayes on the Mod Squad, a role that made him a counterculture icon of the late 60s and early 70s. Later, he He cemented himself as a leading man when he played Prince's troubled father in Purple Rain. His career stretched across 5 decades, with standout roles in Sugar Hill, Tales from the Hood, Twin Peaks, and even comedies like Half-Baked. Born into a musical family in 1939, acting was in his blood. But on June 4, 2021, after a battle with colon cancer, Williams died at 81, leaving behind breathtaking performances. Losing him felt like closing the book on a bolder time in Hollywood. But then you look at Ron Glass, and you see a different kind of actor whose charm stayed with you long after the credits rolled. Ron Glass. Ron Glass had a gift for making characters unforgettable. He first won over audiences as the stylish, witty detective Ron Harris on the hit sitcom Barney Miller, a role that earned him an Emmy nomination and cemented his place in television history. Later, a new generation came to love him as the wise and mysterious Shepherd Book on Joss Whedon's cult favorite Firefly and its film continuation, Serenity. Over a career that spanned decades, Glass left his mark on everything from Sanford and Son and The Odd Couple to Friends and Agents of SHIELD. But on November 25, 2016, the beloved actor died at 71, leaving behind a legacy of wit, elegance, and depth. Diahann Carroll. Diahann Carroll wasn't just a star, she was a woman who shattered barriers with her undeniable talent. She became well known for her character as Julia Baker on Julia, the sitcom where she played a widowed nurse, raising her young son alone. Her role marked the first time a black woman led a TV series in a non-servant role. But long before that, she had already made history with a Tony Award for No Strings, and later earned an Oscar nomination for Claudine. Carroll's elegance and fearlessness carried her through theater, film, and primetime hits like Dynasty. But on October 4, 2019, after a battle with breast cancer, the legendary actress and singer died at 84. Diahann Carroll broke ceilings with grace, proving that presence could be as powerful as talent. Kevin Peter Hall. At 7 feet 2 inches, Kevin Peter Hall was impossible to miss, and Hollywood made sure of it. His towering frame made him the ultimate creature performer of the 80s, famously donning the alien suit in Predator, and bringing unexpected warmth to the lovable Bigfoot in Harry and the Hendersons. More than just a man in costume, Hall gave life and even heart to characters hidden behind layers of makeup and latex. But just as his star was rising, tragedy struck. In 1991, at only 35, Hall died from an AIDS-related illness after a devastating hospital mix-up where he was given HIV-positive blood. A one-of-a-kind talent, gone far too soon. Sherman Hemsley. Sherman Hemsley will forever be remembered as George Jefferson, the sharp-tongued, swaggering businessman who strutted his way into TV history on The Jeffersons. His portrayal of the brash, nouveau riche neighbor-turned-star made him one of sitcom's most unforgettable figures, with reruns keeping his legacy alive for generations. But behind the laughs, Hemsley lived a quieter, gentler life. Nothing like the character who made him famous. Sadly, his story ended on July 24, 2012, when he died at home in El Paso at 74. A lung mass led to superior vena cava syndrome, ultimately taking his life. But while Hemsley made us laugh, Esther Rolle made us fear and love her. Esther Rolle. Esther Rolle made television history as Florida Evans, the no-nonsense but loving mother at the heart of the 1970s sitcom Good Times. With her strength, warmth, and authenticity, she became the face of resilience for countless viewers, showing a side of black family life rarely seen on TV at the time. Long before that, Rolle had sharpened her craft on the stage, performing with the Negro Ensemble Company and earning respect as a powerful dramatic actress. She later appeared in films like Driving Miss Daisy and Rosewood, proving her talent stretched far beyond sitcoms. Sadly, on November 17, 1998, Rolle passed away at 78 years old. Tommy Ford. For millions of fans in the 90s, Tommy Michael Ford was simply Tommy, Martin Lawrence's sharp-dressed, dependable best friend on the hit sitcom Martin. His calmness and screen presence made him unforgettable, cementing his place in sitcom history. Beyond Martin, he brought his charm to roles in The Parkers and New York Undercover, proving his versatility on screen. But tragedy struck in October 2016, when Ford's life was cut short at just 52. After complications from knee replacement surgery, an aneurysm burst in his abdomen, leaving him on life support. On October 12th, his family confirmed his passing, a loss that stunned fans and colleagues alike. And just as fans were grieving the loss of Tommy, another reminder of TV's fragile legends came to light, this time from a woman who broke barriers long before the 90s even began. Roxy Roker. Roxy Roker will forever be remembered as Helen Willis on CBS's The Jeffersons. As half of television's first interracial couple, she made history, playing the elegant and spirited wife opposite Franklin Cover. Her work didn't stop there. She also left her mark as Melissa in the landmark miniseries Roots, and on Broadway she shone in The River Niger, a role that earned her an Obie and a Tony nomination. Beyond the screen, she was devoted to community work, especially child advocacy. Sadly, Roxy Roker's journey ended in Los Angeles at 66, leaving behind her legacy and her son, rock star Lenny Kravitz. Natalie Desselle-Reid. Natalie Desselle-Reid lit up every screen she touched. Fans adored her comedic brilliance in BAPS, where she and Halle Berry created an unforgettable duo, and she kept audiences laughing in Medea's Big Happy Family, Def Jam's How to Be a Player, and as Janie Egan's for 3 seasons on the sitcom Eve. She first broke through in 1996 with Set It Off and even popped up on Family Matters, proving her range early on. Her warmth and humor were infectious, a spirit that Halle Berry described as pure light. But in December 2020, at just 53, Natalie's journey was tragically cut short after a battle with colon cancer. Her passing was a painful reminder of how much joy Black actresses have brought to screens big and small, often without the recognition they deserved. That torch of brilliance and laughter now leads us to another star. Jeanette DuBois. Jeanette DuBois will always be remembered as the witty neighbor Willona Woods on Good Times, and the unforgettable voice behind the Jeffersons' iconic theme song, Movin' On Up. Her talent stretched far beyond sitcoms. She was an accomplished stage actress and singer and even won 2 Primetime Emmys for her voice work on Eddie Murphy's animated series The PJs. Fans also caught her in shows like Hangin' with Mr. Cooper, Moesha, and Home Improvement. But on February 17th, 2020, at her Glendale, California home, her vibrant journey ended unexpectedly. She was 74, passing peacefully in her sleep, leaving behind children and grandchildren. Robert Guillaume. Robert Guillaume carved his name into television history as Benson DuBois, the surly butler who stole scenes on Soap and later commanded his own hit spin-off, Benson. The role not only made him a household name, but also earned him 2 Emmys, including the groundbreaking win as the first Black actor to take home Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy. Beyond TV, his voice gave life to Rafiki in Disney's The Lion King, and he even tackled Phantom of the Opera in Los Angeles. On October 24, 2017, Guillaume's journey ended at his Los Angeles home after a quiet battle with cancer. He was 89. Rosalind Cash. Rosalind Cash was the kind of actress who could do it all, whether breathing fire into gritty dramas like Ceremonies in Dark Old Men or standing tall beside James Earl Jones as Goneril in King Lear. An original member of the Negro Ensemble Company, she became one of its brightest stars, equally at home in musicals, classics, and film. Cash lit up the screen in The Omega Man and Uptown Saturday Night, and even made history playing the first Black woman vice president in Wrong is Right. But in 1995, her remarkable career was cut short. Rosalind Cash lost her battle with cancer at just 56 years old. Madge Sinclair. Madge Sinclair carved her place in Hollywood royalty by playing queens, most memorably Queen Aeolian, the regal wife of James Earl Jones's King Jaffe Joffer in Coming to America. She later reunited with him as Simba's mother, Sarabi, in Disney's The Lion King. But behind her luminous performances was a quiet battle. Diagnosed with leukemia while starring in Trapper John, M.D. in the early 80s, Sinclair continued to work with grace and strength. In 1995, just a year after The Lion King's release, she lost that battle. At 57, her ashes were returned home to Jamaica. Madge Sinclair lit up every role she touched, from Coming to America to The Lion King, carrying herself with a grace that hid the battles she faced behind the scenes. When she passed in 1995, the screen felt a little emptier, but she paved the way for others.
That same spirit lives on in Earl Cameron.
Earl Cameron. Earl Cameron shattered barriers in British cinema when he starred in Pool of London, a film that not only gave him his first major role, but also introduced one of the earliest portrayals of an interracial relationship on screen. From that moment, he became a pioneer for black actors in the UK, his voice and dignified presence earning him respect across decades. Though roles were limited, Cameron refused to play stereotypes, carving out a career of substance. In later years, he graced films like Thunderball, The Interpreter, and Inception. In 2020, at the remarkable age of 102, Earl Cameron passed away peacefully at home. Howard Rollins. Howard E. Rollins Jr. burst onto the big screen with unforgettable force as Coalhouse Walker Jr. in the 1981 film Ragtime. His performance earned him an Academy Award nomination and made him one of the most promising black actors of his generation. Before that, he had already shown his range in Roots, The Next Generation and King, and later brought Medgar Evers to life in For Us the Living. Rollins also won hearts as Virgil Tibbs on the TV series In the Heat of the Night. But behind the talent, he struggled with addiction. In 1996, at just 46, Rollins died from AIDS-related complications. Howard E. Rollins Jr. left the kind of mark that makes a name unforgettable, powerful, and brimming with promise. His passing in 1996 at just 46 cut short a career that could have soared even higher, reminding the world of both the brilliance and fragility of black talent in Hollywood. Following in that legacy of warmth, dedication was Elena Reed Hall, a woman whose smile carried generations of viewers from Sesame Street to 227, leaving her own imprint before her life ended in 2009. Elena Reed Hall. Elena Reed Amini became a familiar face to generations of viewers through two beloved TV shows, first as Olivia Robinson, the warm and grounded photographer on Sesame Street, and later as Rose Lee Holloway, the witty and dependable neighbor on 227. Her career stretched from children's programming to sitcoms, musicals like Chicago and Hair, and even films such as Cruel Intentions and Death Becomes Her. But beyond her talent, her life carried both love and tragedy. She married her 227 co-star Kevin Peter Hall, who died in 1991. Years later, Reed Amini faced her own battle. After a 2-year fight with breast cancer, she passed away in 2009, at just 63, leaving behind her husband and children. Which of these actors was your favorite, and which of their movies do you still love to this very day? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.